Hey, it's Raven Tactical here again. We're gonna do kind of a little bit of a slightly different video. It's more of the poop hits the fan or everything has gone wrong, rule without law scenario. It kind of requires a little bit of critical thinking. So if you take the information like critical thinking of how I look at rule without law, right? You tend to have people who have struggled with critical thinking, who kind of have a very strong moral compass, which is good. But the moral compass kind of leads them into the problem of they can't think of what it's like in a situation without law. A situation where your family is starving, your family, your kids. People are putting your life in danger. People maybe want to take out your house or take out your property, where stealing from you is taking food away literally from your family and putting you in almost certain death. So mind that situation. And one of the topics I want to bring up, because it came up on another channel where they talked about it, and the topic is, let's just pose it as a question. And you're a year or two in, grid down, whatever you want to call it, EMP, world ending event, whatever. Your family's been able to survive, your mag group's been able to survive. Let's say you have 10, 20 people in your mag group. You're a little community, or a tribe, I guess you want to call it. Your tribe's doing okay. You've struggled through some of the hard parts. You got a decent garden going, you got food. You're making enough to survive. You're not thriving, I guess, but you're doing okay. In comes the problem, and here's the scenario. A group of marauders, a group of other neighbors from a neighboring town or neighboring area. They make their way over. They have 5, 6 people in their group, and they make an attack on your group. They try to steal from you. They attack your, basically they go and try to steal. They try to start removing stuff. They try to take your truck, your ATV, if you actually have one with fuel. They try to take your food or your food stocks, or they attack your family, where they're trying to hold your family or kill your family to get to this food. Because let's say they are starving. So you and your group, your first response or your security, either spots them ahead or you wind up seeing them. Maybe they were able to sneak in without you looking. You got complacent. And they do take some of your food. And you see them walking around with it, or you see them kind of crouch in on you. And your security team goes into action. So security goes in. You probably have to kill a few of them because they are armed. Let's say they're armed, or even not armed. It doesn't matter. You kill a few of them, and then 1 or 2 surrenders to you. They put their hands up. They do the white flag. Now what? And the question I have is what? What do you do with a prisoner there? Do you let them go back? And they're going to go back to their camp and let everybody know what you have. Let everyone let you know what you have. In effort of what? So that you can keep the peace? But they're going to come back with a bigger force probably, right? They know that your security defenses. They've already kind of seen and probed you out, right? So do you let them go back knowing that they've tested you and they can come back with a different force or a different way to attack you? Do you hold them prisoner for a length of time? Or do you kill them? Or do you try to put them in a position where they have to go in a different direction? And kind of put them in a different direction. Hopefully they don't come back. I mean, these are your scenario setups. I think in the first one, letting them go poses a great OPSEC risk to you. And it poses a great risk of basically when they get back. They're either going to be, hey, your group is too powerful, too strong, and the security's too tight, it's not worth the risk. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. We've already lost 2 people. And, for what it's worth, I think we could go somewhere else. Or are they going to come back with a much larger force and go, hey, you know what? We know that you have 15 people here and 6 are on security, and this is what we came up this time, and they were looking mostly in this direction. We're going to try to attack them with a much larger force, or we know that they're really well armed, so we're going to hit them long range. we're going to try to pick them off long range, or kind of bleed them out, or smoke them out, you know. So you have that issue. Now, do you hold them prisoner? If you look at the American society and how many prisoners we hold, and the amount it costs financially, dollar-wise, to hold people prisoner or to hold people in jails, is through the roof. Now, obviously you wouldn't be paying someone, but let's put it in perspective. 1, you have to build a jail or a prison. 2, you now have to take resources of manpower to watch said prisoner. 3, now you have to take food and water to feed this person, or even some form of heat if it's cold weather. Now you're wasting resources on a person who potentially was trying to kill you. So, I mean, I'm looking at it from a disadvantage there. Or do you take the moral low route, but maybe it is a little bit more compassionate, and do you kill them? Do you not take prisoners? Because I think that option leaves you maybe with a, how would you put it, maybe it's not the easiest thing for someone to do, and maybe you leave that up to someone who is capable of doing it, someone who wouldn't have that problem or doesn't mind it having on their conscience. Is that acceptable to you? Do you think killing them is the answer? I think, in my opinion, there's not a wrong answer with this. It's just a matter of what you're willing to give up or what you're willing to do. And then the other option, I guess, is you take that person and you put them in the opposite direction, or those persons put them in the opposite direction. So let's say they came from 20 miles from the east and you go and put them 40 miles in the west or whatever. But now you're wasting resources and time and potentially putting your group in danger, right? So that's kind of the fourth option, kind of silly. Out of all 4 options, though, I mean, obviously besides killing them right off the bat, you could use them for information on the group that attacked you so that you could learn it, but how do you know what's true, you know? If they're going to tell you that they have 100 people well armed and they all wear Flectar camo, well, how do you actually choose that, you know? How do you know what's believable? I think it's one of those things where I think you have 2 options. In my opinion, the 2 options that are most critical are either killing them or you return them. Because I think the option of holding a prisoner is not going to work. There's just no way. You're not going to be able to hold someone prisoner. Some people might think they can, and more power to you. But I think if you're going to try to return them, you better make sure that they don't want to come back. And you better make sure that that group knows that there's no other option if they try to come back, that you're going to level them. Take them out, destroy them, whatever. Now, killing them, on the other hand, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, you are in a ability to protect yourself, and it is a survival setting, and they put your life at risk. So, what are you going to do in that sense? I think killing them is a valuable option. Not everyone's going to be able to pull the trigger. It's kind of one of those things where that is going to be someone you're going to have to look at as that's their skill. That might be one of their skills. They are in the fighting world, and they are in the business of killing. So it's something to think about. Raven Tactical out. Hit the like, subscribe. We're really close to 100 subscribers. Let's just try to hit that benchmark, and then we'll go from there. Appreciate all the comments and the kind words. I'm trying to look into setting up an Amazon store to see how people do that. I'm trying to see how that works, because I would think it'd be cool to link some items that I'm preparing or showing you guys. Hopefully I have a couple how-to videos posted tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Anyways, have a good night.